Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Bisola with Lynn. If this is your first time here, welcome, and if not, hi. Well, today we're going to be doing this Ankara gown that I have on. It's relatively easy to do. It's always amazing whenever you wear it, so why not? If you haven't subscribed already, again, why not? Please subscribe and let's get into this, and I will see you at the end of the video, and don't go away. I have my fabric folded into 4. You want to start out with half of your across the shoulder measurement. That's a 7.5 for me, and you want to start measuring from the top, your shoulder to your bust, and your shoulder to your waist, and your shoulder to your hip. Pretty much the exact thing we did in our maxi gown tutorial, and if you haven't seen that, I will leave a link in the description for that so you can check it out. It's basically the same thing we're doing here. And that's my bust line, in my waistline and my hip line, and of course the last line should be your desired length, and you want to add 2 inches to that. That's going to be your hem allowance. Now it's time for a shoulder slope, so as always, come down by 1 inch, and yes, and the next thing you want to do is determine how wide and how deep you want your back neckline to be. And I want you to bear in mind at this point that I have my front and my back piece together, but I'm cutting it out as the back piece because I can go ahead and adjust the front later, since the back piece is usually going to be lower than the front piece. So just go ahead and do that. Okay, now you want to connect that line to the shoulder slope, and there you go. Now that we have done that, it's about time we put in our circumference measurement. So this is a simple dress that has no zipper or button or any such closure. That means that you want to put in enough room, and to all your circumference you want to add at least 8 inches to that. My bust circumference, for example, is 36 inches. I add 8 inches to that. I have 44, and I divide that by 4 because my fabric is folded in 4, and I have 11. So you just do that for all of your measurements. After tracing out all of your markings except for the armhole, which we will get into in just a moment, what you want to do now is connect them together all the way straight down until you get to the bottom of your dress. Now we're moving on to constructing our armhole. So you want to join the top to the bust line just like I did, and now I'm working with the shoulder with a armhole measurement of 9 inches, as you can see. And so from the top, I'm just going to create my armhole curve. I'm totally working by hand with this project. That's how easy it is. So just make sure from that angle you have at least 1 inch, and then you can create your curve and cut it out. Cut it out. You can almost see your dress again. Yes, we're making progress. The back and the front is exactly the same thing as it is right now, so it's about time we differentiate the front from the back. So I pick out one of the pieces to make out my front piece, and I determine how deep I want my front neckline to be, and just draw it as you see me do and cut it out. So time for us to create our drop down neckline. You want to just come out from the top about ½ inch from the folded edge, and by how deep you want your neckline to drop, that's entirely up to you again. So you join those 2 lines together just as you see me do, and you cut it out. So cut it out and you have your front piece. Now cut out your front piece and your back piece in lining exactly the same, only that your lining should be 2 inches shorter so that your main fabric can roll over and prevent the fabric from peeking out at the end of the day when you're done. Now we have so many options here. We can decide to or not to line our dress. If you decide not to line your dress, you could just finish the edges with bias tape that you can cut out of the fabric and just sew the rest of your fabric, and you will be done. You could just use a facing for the upper part of the dress to conceal the raw edges and then keep on sewing, or you could line it. Even with lining, there are different methods that we can use, but we're going to take the easy way out here. So here's what we'll do. Attach your lining to your main fabric and pin it all around like you see me do, and just take it to your sewing machine and sew along the armhole and the neckline and just sew it. But let's start with the neckline. After sewing the neckline, I am cutting into the neckline but not through to the thread line. If you cut past the thread line, you're going to have a hole in your garment and you're not going to like me. Okay, so it's just to understitch and then have everything just lay in like that. Now you want to turn it back as it was again, that is right sides together, and you want to hem it at the bottom. You will notice at this point that it's not going to match perfectly. That's because you cut your lining 2 inches shorter than your actual garment. So just pull the lining until it aligns with the fabric and place a couple of pins if you like and sew it, but leaving an opening through which you're going to flip out your fabric right side out. So this is the top of my garment, and you will notice that it's no longer lining at the top either. So what you just want to do is match it up. That will fix the problem, and what that will do is at the bottom it will raise your main fabric over like this, and you will not need to hem your fabric like magic, right? Okay, now you want to just sew the other parts closed. Just sew them, the armhole, the side seams, everywhere, and from that hole that you left the other time, you just want to turn out all of your fabric outside. So let's turn it out. It's going to feel like, what is happening here? But I promise you, everything is going to take its place. So don't be afraid. Once you turn it right side out, you want to do the exact same thing onto your back piece. If you are working with your front piece and you want to sew them at the shoulder seams together, and this is what you should have. Now you want to measure around the armhole, and this will help in the construction of your sleeves. And whatever you have, just write that down. In my case, I had 20. In constructing the sleeves, I have my fabric folded into 4 again, and I determine how long I want the sleeves to be just before the gathers, and that's a 9 in my case. It can be whatever you want. And at the top I measured out 5 inches, and at the other side measured down 5 inches as well. And now I created just the curve, you know, that kind of imitates the shape of the armhole. And what you want to do at this point is measure it again to be sure that it will match with your armhole. So in my case, of course it did. And this is what your sleeve should look like once you have cut it out. And now you want to attach it onto your bodice and sew it on your sewing machine. Once you've done that, you want to sew the side seams starting from the sleeve in one go and all the way down to the side seam. And just for the gathers, I'm going to cut out a piece of rectangle that measures 45 inches by 9 inches. That's how long I wanted my sleeves to be. And once you have 2 of that, you want to hem one of the ends, just the regular hem like we always do. Fold it over one time and another time. On the other end, you want to sew 2 rows of basting stitches or a roll of basting stitch, and you would use that to gather your fabric. And you want to keep gathering your fabric until you have the measurement that will fit around your bicep and will also fit into the sleeves that we've constructed before now. So just keep gathering until you have your measurement. I'm just making sure that I do have the right measurement here. And once you're content with that, you want to fold it over right sides together and sew it close at the sides. Now with the gathered part of the sleeves on the right side and your fabric on the wrong side, you want to put in your sleeves inside your fabric or your garment. And the point is to just make sure that whatever you do, you're attaching right sides together. So that's what you will still have at the end of the day. Align the underarm seam to match with the seam that you just sewed on your gathered fabric, and just pin all the way around as you see me do. And once you have done that, you just take it to your sewing machine and sew it all around. And of course, because we have 2 arms, you're going to do that at the other arm as well, and you are done. It's very easy to do. It's amazingly gorgeous. What am I saying? It's absolutely gorgeous whenever you wear it, and why not? What am I saying? What am I saying? Thank you so much for sticking around until the end of the video. If you have any questions, let me know as always in the comments. If you found this video helpful, like and share, and remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in time for another video.